Let's talk about the sequel to one of the most awesome movies that's come out recently. A co-writer on the Crazy Rich Asians sequel has decided to leave the writing team. And here's what we know. Adele Lim was offered $110,000 plus for her work, while starting offers for her co-writer were $800,000 to $1 million. This is according to the Hollywood Reporter sources. So Lim says being evaluated that way can't help but make you feel that this is how they view my contributions. She believes women and people of color are often regarded as soy sauce, hired to sprinkle culturally specific details on a screenplay, rather than credited with the substantive work of crafting the story. Warner Brothers then, I guess at this point when she left, explained to Lim's reps that the quotes given to both of them are industry standard established ranges based on experience, and that making an exception would set a troubling precedent in the business. The talks escalated to the studio chairman, who backed his business affairs department's stance. So just before we go on, because I just have to, it would set a bad precedent to pay the only Asian woman on the team more on a movie specifically about Asian culture.
They're treating her like on ER or a more contemporary reference, like Grey's Anatomy. That's like how they would pay the doctor.
Really current too.
Yeah. Or Grey's Anatomy still on the air, I think.
It is.
The doctor who shows up and is like, yeah, we say the word CCs and stat a lot. Go ahead.
Right.
Like that's it. The consultant, like when you do a crime drama, they're like, our priority is just putting in the relationships here. Can you show up and tell us what food you people eat?
Right, you're right, exactly. So Lim she left last fall. That's what we also know. The producers then spent 5 months trying to get another writer of Asian descent onto the team. They couldn't, so then they go back to Lim with an offer that's more comparable to her co-writer. Her co-writer, also I think should note, his name is Peter Chiarelli. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He actually offered to split his fee with her. She said no, explaining, Pete has been nothing but incredibly gracious, but what I make shouldn't be dependent on the generosity of the white guy writer. If I couldn't get pay equity after Crazy Rich Asians, I can't imagine what it would be like for anyone else, given that the standard for how much you're worth is having established quotes from previous movies, which women of color would never have been hired for. There's no realistic way to achieve true equity that way. That reminds me of, it's a writer's thread that was going on a few months ago around like the strike, and it was like trying to uplift, like, hey, I see this a lot. It'll say, hey, we're looking for a Latino writer. We specifically want to go after people of color writers that are marginalized, writers that don't get opportunities. You must have 5 so-and-so, I don't know the right lingo.
Right, yes.
But you must have 5 to submit and an agent. And it's like, wait.
That's where the
they can't. That's the whole reason that you need to, like, what?
So we're looking to make Latino writers successful. So if you're a successful Latino writer, please apply for the job.
If you've written a Marvel movie, that's the kind of writer we want. Like someone.
But that's
right.
But I mean, I'd be curious to know what the WGA, the Writers Guild, like the Writers Union, did they have to say anything about this? Because I mean, this seems like something that they should weigh in on.
I agree.
Because it's like, I mean, you don't want to have the writers pitted against each other that way.
I worked at a talent agency, and there's all kinds of fun things. It was about 2004, but like 2005.
You're like into the that's what you want. That's why the Entourage reference. That's why you got into the business.
Right when ER was in its peak. But really, at that time, I remember one of my first assignments was to like go through the tracking sheet, which looks after everything that's happening at the studios, and circle every urban
fun
movie.
Oh, I love this story. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's in a city. That's in Oklahoma City. Oh, that's a city. That's urban. And here it is in Little Rock. That's a city. And they were like, no, I see what you thought. But it's black people. But also, like, when they do negotiations, a lot of the negotiation, it's your quote. Your quote is what it's all based on. And a lot of studios really like operating on things where like, oh no, it's already set and done. But they don't understand that those things are set in place, and that's just how it will always be unless you change it. And I
just like think about that. Do you know if there were other assistants who were working alongside you who were black, one of them would have been like, nah, bro, that's what they mean something else. Or even better, if there were more executives that were black, that name and title wouldn't have existed to begin with.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below. then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.